Good morning. I don't know why I always say good morning, because I always start my videos in the mornings. I guess that's why. I'm sitting by a fireplace. It's so hot that I had to turn it off. I literally started sweating, so I had to turn it off. Today we're gonna have a sit-down video all about my surgery that I had. I'm not going into all the details, what surgery I had. Most of you guys, if you follow me on Instagram, you already know, which if you're not following me, you should follow me. I'm gonna put my username here for you guys. But if you're not aware, I had a weight loss surgery 7 months ago. I got a lot of requests to make a video about it. Grab yourself a cup of coffee, tea, wine, whatever floats your boat, because it's gonna be a long video. We all know how much I like to ramble, and to be honest with you guys, there's a lot of information in this video about the surgery, because I want to go into in depth and tell you guys like before the surgery until now, which is like 7 months. And trust me, with this surgery, it's a roller coaster. You experience new things that you didn't expect. So starting from the beginning, I'm gonna look at my phone a lot because I wrote my notes on it, on what to talk about and like what to mention so I don't forget anything. I got a weight loss surgery, which is called duodenal switch, on June 13, 2019, which is gonna be 7 months ago. We are January now that I'm filming this video, January of 2020. What a journey. What a journey. So I'm gonna start off how I started the process, why I decided to get a surgery. The first time that a weight loss surgery was offered to me by my primary doctor was when I was living in Iran, maybe like 15 years ago. And that was the first time that my doctor offered it. Well, I don't have the same doctor now, but like at the time my primary doctor offered me to get a lap band surgery. Because of all the health issues I was having. One of the main health issues that I was having was my feet from knee down was always swollen. Like if I was sitting down for a long period of time, for example, when I would go to school and come back when I was going to high school, my feet were swollen. And it was to an extent that I couldn't wear regular shoes. I always have to buy wide feet shoes, and back in Iran we didn't have wide feet shoes, so I had to have my shoes custom made. Like I wanted to buy a boot, I had to have it custom made. Anyway, it was a very difficult situation for me, especially as a girly girl that I always was. And I always loved wearing heels and cute shoes and being into fashion. It was always very difficult for me because I was not able to wear whatever I wanted. And not only for how it looked, it felt so bad. My feet was swollen to an extent that it would turn blue. I went to a lot of feet doctors, primary doctors and all that. Everyone told me you have to lose weight. And that's the reason your feet are swollen. And little by little, as I gained more weight, from only my feet it came all the way up to my knee. So literally below my knee would, if like normally was this big, it would get this big. It would get really swollen. That sometimes when I was wearing like skinny jeans, it would literally bother me. Like I would have my skinny jeans, you know, the size, the stitches, I would have a mark of it left on my feet. It was to that extent. So that was one of my main like biggest issues. Then I started having a fatty liver, and I had to be on a restricted diet. So as long as I can remember myself, I've always been on some sort of a diet. My diet situation got to a point that like 7 years ago I decided to, like within 6 months, I want to lose a major weight. And I went on a very hardcore workout and diet situation. My diet was not more than 500 calories a day, which is not healthy. I didn't see a doctor. I did it on my own thing. And I was working out like there is no tomorrow, sometimes 3 times a day, like morning, noon, and night. And within 6 months, I lost 80 pounds. And I'll insert a picture for you guys here. Did I lose weight? 100%. But was I healthy? No. It's just overall was not mentally healthy. Everything that I would eat, I would count the calories, and everything that I would put on my mat, it just became a disorder. And a few times even after eating, I regretted it so much that I basically threw up. That was when I was like, no, this is turning into something that I'm not about. It was never about how I looked. I always had the confidence of, this is who I am and I'm okay with it, and it doesn't bother me. it was never about how I looked size-wise, but how I felt inside for me. The first time that weight loss surgery was offered to me was when I was like young, back in Iran. They told me to get a lap band. But the thought of having something foreign in my body scares me, and I'm a kind of person who sees a needle and I'm like, I faint literally. So that's why surgery was never an option for me. Obviously I didn't do it then, and then I started dieting and all of that, and on and off I lost like 10-15 pounds, then 20 pounds and all of that. But it's been always losing certain amount of weight and then going back to the old habits, losing certain amount of weight and going back to old habits, until 7 years ago I lost a major weight within the 6 months. Just when I was doing that crazy diet, I started having a really sharp pain in my stomach, and when I went to hospital they told me I have to remove my gallbladder because my gallbladder has stones. So that was basically, that surgery was how I stopped that unhealthy diet that I was going. So after that I started gaining weight until basically like a year ago. My swollen feet and my fatty liver was not the only health issues I started having. I was tired all the time. I didn't want to move, I didn't want to do anything, and I've never been like that. I've been always a very social and active person. Ever since I was a child, any excuse to get ready and go out was very exciting for me because I'm into makeup, hair, fashion, dressing up and all of that. But it got to a point that I didn't even want to leave the house because of how unhappy I was. A lot of people ask me why I didn't do it in a natural way, why I got the surgery and why I didn't do it with diet and exercise. I did all of those for 29 years, and for me it didn't work. It did work for 6 months, but it was not anything permanent. That's when my primary doctor suggested considering a weight loss surgery. So I made an appointment with my surgeon. I went in for a consultation for a sleeve surgery because that's what I knew more about. I had a few friends who've done it. I've seen it on the internet. A few of my blogger friends have done it. So that's what I've heard more about. After the consultation, he told me that he would not recommend the sleeve for me, but he will recommend the duodenal switch for me, because the reason being is because of how overweight I was and how unhealthy my body was. I've never heard of the duodenal switch, so I didn't even know what it was. So I had to do my research on it. And the doctor gave me time to think about it, because before doing the surgery, if you're going through insurance, I don't know how it is for cash patient, but I did it through my insurance. And if you're doing it through insurance, you have 3 to 6 months of nutritionist appointment. You meet with your surgeon on a monthly basis, and you do psychiatric tests basically, just so they can make sure you're in the right place and right mind to do the surgery, because after surgery there's a lot. My doctor told me, while you're going through this process, you can do your research and see what you want, because obviously the duodenal switch is so much more intense of a surgery compared to sleeve, and your lifestyle completely changes. My insurance required only 3 months of nutritionist appointment and the psychiatric appointment, and within those 3 months I spoke to my surgeon. I did my research on what surgery is better for me, and I obviously spoke to my primary doctor and all of that, and even my primary doctor suggested the duodenal switch instead of the sleeve for me because of how my health situation was. And within those 3 months that I was prepping myself for the surgery and going to my appointments, I didn't tell anyone besides my family members and my best friend. No one knew about it. I didn't want anyone's opinion, because people will have opinions, and as much as I respect their opinions, but I didn't want that to affect me, because no one knows me and my body better than me and my doctors. It's not that I was scared, but my entire life I declined getting a surgery because I was happy with whoever I was, and it was never a sizing issue for me. But the unhappiness and the health issues that it was causing me was bigger than my confidence. I finally agreed on doing it. I didn't want anyone to discourage me. People around me have been so supportive, so supportive. My cousins, my best friends, my family member, my relatives, everyone. Obviously there are going to be people who are going to be unhappy about it, but they're not living my life. So yeah, within those 3 months that I was going through the prepping for the surgery, I didn't tell anyone besides the closest people to me. And a day before my surgery, I announced it over on my social media, because I wanted everyone to know. Like, it was not a secret. I would never keep a secret like that. So throughout that 3 months, I met with the nutritionist every single month, once a month, and I met with the psychologist 2 times. With nutritionists, basically they teach you how you're gonna eat after the surgery and what are the foods that you need to consume. And with the psychiatric, you go through some tests so they can make sure you're in the right mental health and you're doing the surgery for the right reason, and after the surgery you'll be able to take care of yourself. Before the surgery, my surgeon didn't put me on any sorts of diet. Besides, I was on a liquid diet like 5 days before my surgery, complete clear liquid diet. The day of surgery, I was so sure that I wanted to do it, and I was so confident that I wanted to do it, that I was not scared whatsoever. I went in so strong, which is not like me whatsoever, because I see blood and I faint. I was not even nervous. That's very surprising for me to say, and people like around me, my relatives and my family members and all of that who know me, know that how scared of like any kind of medical situation I am. I went in so strong. I don't know, it's just, I wanted it so bad. I was tired of the life that I was living, and I was tired of the struggles that I was having, that I wanted it so bad that I went in so strong that I was not even nervous. When my surgeon, I get emotional talking about this because this is something very big for me. It might not be for some people, but it is something very big for me. When my surgeon came into the room to like talk to me before going to the surgery, like he looked at me with this biggest smile. He was like, "Are you ready?" I was like, "I've never been more ready for anything." And he was like, "That's the attitude that I need. Your recovery is going to be amazing because of your attitude." I don't know why I get emotional talking about this. I totally forgot to tell you guys what duodenal sewage is. I will link a video that in details explains what duodenal sewage is and how do they perform the surgery. So after the surgery, you come to the recovery room, and my surgery finished at like 11 a.m. I was all the way asleep, and I came to the room around like 4 or 5 in the afternoon, and around 6 o'clock I woke up completely. Around 9 p.m. my nurses were like, "You gotta get up and walk." I was like, "You got to be kidding me." Now they're like, "Yeah." Which God bless them, because with all the gas that they pump in your stomach and all of that, it was a blessing. So they do 5 literally this like 1 inch of scars, and the biggest one is your belly button. Basically they go in from your belly button as well, which is the biggest one, but you don't see it because afterwards they close it basically. The day after, when I was leaving the hospital, they're like, "Vicky, you have a dose of like morphine that we can give you before you go." I was like, "No, I don't want any kind of pain medication. I'm completely okay." And the truth is, I don't remember having pain. It was discomfort. It was very uncomfortable. All my stomach was turning ups and down and all of that. I had this very weird feeling, but it was very strong at the same time. You stay at the hospital for only 1 night, and after I started walking like around 9 p.m. you walk a few laps. Obviously you can walk a lot, and then they start giving you, basically they're starting to do the post-op test to make sure you're okay to be released the next day. It starts off by giving you a little teeny tiny like shot glass of water, and you're supposed to intake that in 1 hour. I know that sounds very surprising, and even before the surgery I was like, how can a body like this not tolerate like little shot glass of water? And trust me, you can't. It took me 1 hour to finish all of that, but I finished it. I was okay. Like I was able to tolerate. It was a little bit uncomfortable because I wanted to sleep. I was tired, but I had to get up and drink the water. My mom was with me. They would wake me up and give me the water, and I would go back to sleep again. 10 minutes later they would wake me up. They're like, "You have to have a sip." So basically you go very small sips. That's why it takes you like complete hour to finish like this little glass of water. The next day you go to more tests, like they take pictures and all of that to make sure you don't have any leakage. And I was released next day at 12 p.m. I came home. My recovery was fantastic, knock on wood. My recovery was so fast. Even after 10 days when I saw my doctor, he was like, "You're doing amazing." and what he told me was, your attitude before going to surgery is the reason that your recovery is going so well. After the post-op, you're on a liquid diet for 2 weeks. After that, you start eating pureed food, and after that, within a month, you start introducing solid food little by little. How the eating went for me personally, it was all trial and error. So my foods were very limited because I'm a vegetarian, and at the same time with the duodenal switch, you have to avoid as much like gassy foods as much as you can. And being vegetarian, that's a little bit hard because most vegetables are causing gas in your stomach. So I had a little bit of struggle on what to eat and what not to eat, but it was not to an extent that it bothered me. And I was able to quickly find out what is good for me and what is not, but all of that through trial and error. So I tried the food. If it agreed with my stomach, I was okay. If it didn't agree with my stomach, then I didn't continue eating that. But majorly, what is the biggest thing, it was like avoid spices as much as you can within like a month to 2 months of your surgery. I didn't had alcohol until 4 months after my surgery, and if you guys know me, I'm a huge rosé drinker. I love wine. And after 4 months, I asked my surgeon if it's okay for me to start having alcohol, and he said yes, but like just sip on it, don't drink a whole like bottle obviously. But after the surgery, your stomach is so small that you don't even have the appetite, you don't even have the desire, but I literally miss the smell and the taste of wine. So I started basically having like 1 or 2 sips, like that was all I could handle even at the 4 months stage. And now that it's been 7 months, I can barely finish a glass. Barely I can finish a glass. And obviously I don't combine liquids with food because my stomach is very small and it gets full very fast. So after the post-op, the diet was not difficult. A lot of people ask me if the diet after the surgery was difficult. It was not whatsoever, because your stomach is so small that you don't even have the appetite to eat. Basically, you get full so fast. So it was not difficult whatsoever for me. It's just your lifestyle changes. You have to be ready for all of those changes. And I always reminded myself that there's a reason I got this surgery, and now that I got it, I have to take care of my body. It was not difficult not to eat, basically, because hunger and satisfaction became 2 separate things, which before surgery wasn't like that. So after the surgery, I knew when I'm full, not when I'm satisfied, because satisfaction and being full is 2 completely different things. Before the surgery, I would eat until I was satisfied, not when I was full, not when I was full. But after the surgery, I knew when to stop because I was just full. And a lot of people were asking me how much I've lost and how much my size changed. So I got my surgery on June 13th of 2019, and now we are January 2020. Before the surgery, I was I don't think I've ever shared this number. On a day of my surgery, I was 305 pounds, and today I am 215 pounds. So I've lost 90 pounds. I was wearing size 20-22. Now I'm a size 12-14. Not that any of these matter, but since you guys asked, I wanted to let you guys know about it. A lot of people ask me about the struggles that I had with the surgery. And one of my biggest struggles was losing hair. I lost a lot of hair. The hair was kind of my fault too, because I didn't take my vitamins very seriously after like 3-4 months after my surgery, when I saw the damage that it's doing to my body, which my surgeon and my nutritionist, they told me I have to take my vitamins very seriously. And for some unknown reason, I didn't. And being a vegetarian, so my body was not getting enough protein. So basically that damaged my hair a lot. I saw what it's doing to my hair and to my body, and I started taking them very seriously. I wrote a detailed blog post on what kind of vitamins I take, which I will link it for you guys in the description box below. You guys can check it out, and it exactly say why I take it, how much I take it, and when I take it. It's a very detailed and in-depth blog post. I started taking my vitamins very seriously, which thank God my hair started growing. I have all these little teeny tiny hairs that are just growing, and it's just generally speaking the texture feels better. Within 3-4 months of my surgery, I was so tired all the time because my body was not getting enough nutrition, and it was a huge struggle because I was not able to do my daily task. Even, for example, if I wanted to get ready and go out, I had to take breaks in between getting ready. For example, I would do my eye makeup, I had to take a break, then I would do my face makeup, then I had to take a break, and then I had to do my hair and take a break. I was tired all the time. I would sleep at like 9 p.m. and all of that was because I wasn't getting enough nutrition. I actually started listening to my surgeon and what he told me initially. I started eating better. I started taking my vitamins very seriously, and I had to make the decision to not be vegetarian anymore because I was not able to consume the protein shakes. And with this surgery, I had to be careful with the amount of gassy foods that I eat as well. So I had to make the decision of not being a vegetarian, and I've been vegetarian for 5 years now, and it was very difficult for me to come back to eating meat. So what I eat right now is mainly tuna, basically tuna, fish, and sometimes chicken. I don't like red meat, and I can't even convince myself to eat red meat. I just don't like the taste, I don't like the texture and anything. It's not that I love the texture and the taste of chicken or fish, but I'm kind of forced to eat it. And after I started eating protein, I noticed how much my energy level is changing. I started getting regular B12 shots. You can read about it more in details in the blog post that I wrote about the vitamins, which I will link for you guys. If you can take one advice from this entire video, is take your vitamins very seriously after your surgery, very seriously, because your body is not getting the nutrition that you're used to getting, and the deficiency will show. For sure it will show, and you have to supplement for the rest of your life. And that's a commitment that they tell you before the surgery. Before you even get the surgery, they tell you that this is the situation that you're gonna have for the rest of your life. So it was not that I didn't know about it, but unfortunately I didn't take it as seriously until I saw the damages that it was doing to my body. Another question that people were asking me was if I started working out. I just started working out after the 7 months. I just didn't have the energy, to be honest with you guys. I didn't have the energy and I didn't have the motivation, but now I just started working out. I will link the videos that I do for you guys in the description box below. There are like 10 minutes of arm workout and 10 minutes of leg workout, and then sometimes do at-home Pilates. I don't go to the gym. I do all my workouts at home, but I do a lot of weight training and Pilates at home. That's my workout situation. Loose skin, which a lot of people ask me. Of course you're gonna get loose skin. Genetics and working out make a huge difference in it, but again, after I've lost 90 pounds within 7 months, and that's a lot. That's a lot on your body. And I do have a lot of like loose skin on my arms and my stomach and even my legs, which a lot of people ask me if that bothers me. Honestly, it doesn't bother me. I knew this is gonna happen, so I was ready for it mentally. I'm hoping now that I started working out, it will help to like tone my muscles a little bit, and my muscles are completely gone. My best friend who does my B12 shots, she's a nurse, and every time she does my B12 shots, she does it on my arm, and the last time that she did, she's like, you do not have any muscles left, like you need to start working out, like you lost all your muscles. And that was a kind of a wake-up call for me to start working out, to gain my muscles back. Oh, people ask me if I was not scared because my entire channel is about body positivity. People ask me if I was not scared to do it and losing my audience. I was not nervous, but I didn't want to send the wrong message. Body positivity doesn't only go for size plus size. Body positivity goes to every single human being, no matter of what their height is, no matter what their weight is, no matter how their body form is. You do not need to lose weight or gain weight in order for you to feel beautiful. As long as you're healthy and happy, then that's all that matters, basically. My biggest thing is this surgery is something permanent. So do your research. It's long term. I'm not gonna say it was difficult because I wanted it so much that it was not difficult for me, but it's a major surgery and it has its own struggles. It's something permanent, so you have to be ready to change your lifestyle for the rest of your life. I'm not a doctor to recommend surgery for anyone, but am I happy if I did it? 110%. This was the best decision that I made for me, for my health and for my life, and I couldn't be happier, honestly. Even you guys can see it, how much my mood has changed, how much my energy level has changed, and that all shows that I made the right decision for me and for my life. The first few months, if you get the duodenal switch, this is not the same with the sleeve surgery, but with the duodenal switch, the first few months you're gonna have a difficult time finding the balance between the bathroom situation, because you go to the bathroom a lot with the surgery, and it was a struggle. It was honestly a very difficult situation. I'm so sorry, this is a little bit TMI, but it's a very major part of a surgery. But now I'm okay. I know how my body works, and when it's time for me to go to the bathroom, it's just you learn how to navigate your life basically, which is completely different than what it was before. How I eat right now is basically I get full fast, but I get hungry fast as well. So for example, I start when I eat breakfast, I eat like basically 2 to 3 tablespoons of whatever it is that I'm having, and then I'll get full pretty fast, and then within like an hour I'm hungry again. Then I will eat 2 spoons again, and then I'm full pretty quick and then hungry again. So throughout the day I eat a lot, but I eat very small portions. I hope I covered it all for you guys. Again, if you have any questions, please leave it in the comments below. I will try to answer them if I have the knowledge to answer them. And thank you for hanging out with me. I will see you guys on my next video. Bye.